Nick, we're talking pitch renovation this afternoon. Talk us through the stages and how the pitch is looking out there.
Yeah, I think it's looking really good. It's only been a couple of weeks since it was seeded, so it's all come through quite nicely. The renovation was just a routine sort of renovation to take the top off and remove. Over the course of the season, you can get a build-up of sort of organic matter and algae, despite our best efforts to keep it out. So really you just renovate to take the top few millimetres off, keep the top of the surface fresh, make sure that the fibres, the artificial fibres, are not getting buried, so that they can do what they're supposed to do, which is sort of intertwine with the natural grass, and make sure we've got a pitch that is as good next season as it was last season.
And you alluded to that just there. The surface did look excellent last season. I guess that's great news when considering the pitch and reconstruction last summer. Yeah,
I mean, we were really happy with the pitch last year, and I guess that's why we had to do the reconstruction in the first place, to make sure that the pitch could sort of cope with whatever weather was thrown at it, and just make sure we've got a good quality pitch for the lads to go out and play on. I think the reconstruction did exactly what we expected it to, and I think it was worth it.
Lots of fixtures throughout the campaign as well, especially in January. How do you feel like the surface coped during the campaign?
Yeah, I think we were really pleased with how the pitch held up throughout the season. Really, it was January's always a challenging time of year, December, January, and obviously we had to delay the start of our home fixtures because of the reconstruction and the extent of the work that needed doing. There's never going to be an ideal time to do that, really. So I think you always have to sort of work with the league, and probably always looking at a delay when you're doing that sort of work. But right from the start, the pitch has stood up to everything that's been thrown at it, especially through the winter months, which is sort of why you put in a pitch like this, because you want to be able to cope at the worst times of the year when the conditions aren't great and you start to lose a bit of grass coverage. And yeah, we're really pleased with how it held up and how it stood up to it. Especially, yeah, like you say, in January we had pretty much a game every 3 days for about 4 weeks, so not the nicest, but we got through it.
And adding to that as well, I think we only had one pitch inspection last season. That was due to the cold weather. How pleased are you that the drainage really held up well?
Yeah, really pleased. That sort of takes that load off your mind as well, because you constantly, when you've got a game on the Saturday, you're at home on the Friday, refreshing every weather app you've got on your phone, and you know you're walking into bad conditions in the past, whereas now we've got a surface that we can rely on, that we know is going to drain well, and we know, we're almost certain that the game's going to be on. Wet weather isn't that much of an issue for us anymore.
And a word on the training ground too. How's that coming along down at Junction 13?
Yeah, that's coming along pretty well down there as well. We had good germination, and it's a couple of weeks ahead of this pitch, so we're starting to see it thicken up now, and it's just ticking over. So next couple of weeks we've got to start putting the finishing touches, the markings down, and make it look pretty, put a pattern in, so that the guys will be back for pre-season training in a couple of weeks, so we're going to start ramping up now.
A word on the team as well, not just your team that you've got here, but also the team who have come in behind the scenes.
Yeah, so obviously we got a couple of groundsmen lads that work for me here, Ewan and Matt, and they do a great job, and it's probably had a year of transition for us, having now a training ground as well as a stadium pitch to look after. So we've had to sort of navigate the season and figure out the best way of working for us, and the lads have just took it all in their stride, and they're brilliant. They never let me down. And then also I mentioned for our contractors as well that we use, that do the renovations. They did the reconstruction here. They built the training ground pitches, South Wales Sports Grounds. They're really good at what they do, and it's a pleasure to work with them.